Okay, this is video number 18 in the Red Flags of a Narcissist series. Video 18 is red flag number 18, which is chronic lying. All narcissists lie. So let me just get that out there now. They all lie. And you might not have noticed this. You might have only seen these big lies during maybe like really big outrageous behavior, such as maybe them draining your bank account, or them up and leaving you, or them having an affair, or some sort of really big life altering kind of moment. But the reality is their lies are small, medium, and large lies. They lie. They lie when the truth would work better. And this is because they don't lie for the same reasons that normal people lie, right? So the rest of us, when we lie, we're generally lying to get out of trouble. Or maybe, we might tell white lies because we're not necessarily 100% comfortable with the truth. Or we might lie to embellish the truth a little bit, to maybe impress other people to some extent. But it's generally not outrageous lies. Narcissists tend to just kind of tell outrageous lies across the board. So narcissists lie. They lie to feed their ego. And lying feeds their ego because every time that they can get one of us to believe what they're saying, in a way it's a small win for them, right? It's a way for them to feel smug and superior and intelligent. And it's a way for them to, because it's like, well, you're an idiot for buying that, so I am so smart. But of course you would buy it, because normal people don't lie about stuff like this. Like, they will lie. I mean, here's an example of a small lie. They might tell you that this morning they stopped at Starbucks and they had a latte. Well, maybe the reality is they didn't stop at Starbucks at all. Like, why would you lie about that? But that's the kind of stuff that they lie about. And it's just these little small wins of, oh, you bought that? Well, you're an idiot. I'm not even sure if it's necessarily at such a conscious, if it's at like the forefront of their thinking. It's just such a natural part of who they are. It's such a natural part of this personality disorder that I think it's just second nature. Just like it's second nature for us to not lie about these kinds of things. Like, you don't think about, well, I'm not going to lie about that. You would just tell the truth and not think twice, right? Because why would you lie about that? But so I'm not even sure that they're really aware of these small lies. I don't know. I'd be curious. I'd be curious to know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think they're aware of these small lies? The big lies, the medium-sized lies, the big lies, I definitely think they're aware of, because they're just so outrageous. You have to would really think about that and like manufacture this whole story. So like an example of a big lie might be saying that, they were never married before, but in fact they were married 3 other times. Or that their son had gone to Harvard Business School, when in fact he didn't. Maybe he studied, maybe his son is a mechanic, or maybe he doesn't even have a son, right? Like, like their big lies are so outrageous that it's hard to even, my God, like you can't even guess, you can't even make sense of them. Like, they're so ridiculous. So they lie to get that small win. They lie for entertainment. Narcissists are notorious for being bored. They kind of have this like flat affect emotionally. It's very strange. And I discussed this a little bit in the red flag on flashes of inappropriate emotion, which is red flag number, what is it? 14. Red flag number 14, flashes of inappropriate emotion. They don't experience emotions the same way we do, right? So they might laugh at a horror movie. They might not cry at their child's funeral. They might cry excessively at a coworker's funeral that they didn't even know or that they didn't even like. They might fly into a rage because they got bit by a mosquito, right? It's just, they might fly into a rage because you didn't use the $3 worth of coupons at the grocery store, and then that you end up getting, beaten for that. So there's no real rhyme or reason to these emotions that they have. And in part, this is because, well, this is not because of it, but this is part of the personality disorder is a cluster B, the personality disorders that are in the cluster B personality disorder grouping. There's 4 of them. These personality disorders are described as the dramatic, erratic, and something just fell over in the other room when I'm home alone. I don't know what that was. They're described as the dramatic, erratic, or emotional personality disorders. And those are kind of the defining characteristics of them. Narcissism is very much that way, right? So the dramatic part is there's extreme highs and extreme lows with how they feed their ego. They either need those excessive compliments, like, oh, you're the world's best dad. You're the world's best husband. You see these people on Facebook all the time. There was a video, I think I have it on my website, where this guy did this like romantic proposal to his fiance, and I posted it on my Facebook channel or my Facebook site, and I posted it on my website just to get feedback, because to a lot of people they think, oh my God, this is the best guy ever. He's so romantic. But to a lot of us that have experience with narcissists, we see that same behavior and we think, ooh, yikes, that's a huge red flag. Because it's like he's trying so hard to be like, look, I am so fantastic. The video, I'll link to it down here below, but it's basically this guy takes pictures every single day for 365 days asking his girlfriend to marry him, and it's behind her back and she's not aware of it. And then he plays this video for her. It's basically of him. It's like a 20-something minute video of him showing that he's doing all this stuff behind her back for a whole year, and it proposes to her on her birthday. So I don't know, watch the video, it's interesting. But there's like extreme highs or lows of, the good times and the bad times. The bad times, of course, are really, really bad. It's, it's addiction, it's bankruptcy, it's foreclosure, it's lying, it's stealing, it's cheating, it's a mistress, it's other children with other women, it's very extreme behavior. They lie about all that. They have to lie because they have to save their public image, right? And this is a huge thing for narcissists. If they don't maintain this public perception of them being either a victim or a hero or an overall charming, wonderful guy, then they can't manipulate, right? So that's kind of what that boils down to. That's why they're lying. And a lot of victims will find after the relationship ends and there's this whole smear campaign launched against the victim, just how much these people lie. And I've heard a lot of victims talk, and they will say, especially if there's like triangulation involved, right? Like that's probably the best way to see the lying, the level of lying, is you have, maybe let's say you have a guy, you have his wife, and then you have his girlfriend, and his wife just is like fire, like on fire, hates this girlfriend, never once thinking that maybe the narcissist told her a bunch of lies about not only the wife, but about their marriage. I can attest to this because that's exactly what happened to me. I would never get involved with a married man. I got involved with a guy. He had just left his wife. He told me that their marriage was over. Well, she didn't see it coming. And actually, this was his pattern of behavior. This was the 3rd time he'd done this to her. He just upped and dropped her out of the clear blue. They had just celebrated, I think it was their 10-year anniversary. He was going to buy her a new ring. They were talking about buying a bigger house. Everything was fine. And then boom, this happened to her. And of course, he told her that I was this homewrecker and I was throwing myself at him and blah, blah, blah. None of it was true. So they lie to get their way. They lie to get out of trouble. They lie for entertainment, especially with that triangulation. It's very entertaining for them to see basically how many people can they get to buy into their story. And then better yet, can they get these people to fight over them? Ooh, fun, right? So then you have these 2 women that are like, oh, that's my man, and then they're all like at it. But it's interesting because it's like you need to stop and take a look at what's the common denominator here, right? And it's not the other woman, it's the guy. So pay attention. There's lies across the board. If you're dating somebody and you're concerned that you're finding all of these little small lies, again, saying that they changed the oil in the car, but they really didn't. stuff like that. That's huge. That's a deal breaker quality, because if there's no trust, then there really is no relationship. You're not in a relationship, you're in a manipulation is what you're in. So really pay attention to that. Pay attention to, if you're hearing the big lies, realize that they're small lies. There's a meme on my website that I made up, which I got this from Dr. Phil. I made it into a meme, but it was, lies are like rats. For every one you see, there's 50 you don't. And that is so, so true. So just remember that. They lie, and they will never stop lying, and they will give you a million different reasons as to why they just had to lie, but none of it will be true. It'll just be another lie. So that's red flag number 18 on lying. Number 19 is up next. That is on parasitic existence. I will see you soon. Oh, and as usual, questions, comments, concerns, frustrations, ideas for videos. You want to share your story. You want me to share more of my story. You want to share part of your story. You just want to say hi. Let me know. Narcissistsupport.com. It'll be below. Or my Facebook support group. If there's anything that I can do to support you, there's other people on there as well that would love to be able to listen and to support you as you go through this. Facebook.com, Narcissist Support. I will put it down here. Take care. See you soon. Bye.